Okay, good morning class. Let us begin with the first chapter in history. Okay, in the previous video, in the previous class, I had given you an introduction about all what we are going to do in class 8, and I had also given you a set of notes, short notes to write in your copies. I hope you have written it down. Okay, so let us now continue with the chapter from the book. Now in this chapter we shall be learning about the condition or the situation of India in the 18th century. Okay, now in the 18th century you have to know that India as it is now was not the same as it was then. Okay, now India is a single country with different states. Now during those time, during the 18th century, India as a landmass was divided into different kingdoms. Few kingdoms were ruled by the Hindu rulers and few kingdoms were ruled by the Muslim rulers. And we had something, not only kingdoms, but we also had something called empire. Okay, so when we say the difference between kingdom and empire, okay, now suppose if, okay, just a rough diagram. Suppose this is the diagram of, okay, if this was a rough diagram. Now there were small kingdoms in the south, in the north central India. All right, now these small kingdoms had different kings that were ruling them. Okay, there were different kings that were ruling them. But when we talk about empire, we are talking about a certain area which consisted of different kingdoms that was ruled by an emperor. Okay, so a person or the person who ruled, who was the leader of the empire, was known as an emperor. Okay, and the person who ruled a kingdom was known as a king. Just like when we say prime minister and chief minister. Now chief minister is the head of a single state only, but when we talk about prime minister, the prime minister is the head of the entire country. Okay, so here we are not going to learn about prime minister and chief minister. We are going to learn about emperor, a Mughal emperor who ruled the Mughal empire. Okay, now here the Mughal empire began witnessing a decline or a downfall after the most powerful Mughal emperor, who was Aurangzeb Alamgir. Okay, Aurangzeb Alamgir, who died in the year 1707, and Aurangzeb had ruled for around 50 years. Now why we say Aurangzeb is one of, or the most powerful, all right, or the most capable Mughal emperor, because Aurangzeb was the one who was successful in extending his fighting with other kings and bringing the entire, almost the entire area of India under the Mughal empire. Now Aurangzeb had ruled for, please don't forget, 50 years, and he was the only ruler, or he was the only emperor who belonged to the Mughal empire who ruled for such a long period. Okay. Now when Aurangzeb died in the year 1707, all right, when Aurangzeb, after ruling for 50 years, died in the year 1707, the powers of the Mughal empire began to decline. Now why is, there are various reasons. Okay, we'll do later on. Now after Aurangzeb died, there were 14 rulers. Or 14 emperors who ruled after Aurangzeb. Okay, after Aurangzeb's death, there were 14 emperors who ruled the Mughal Empire, and these 14 rulers or emperors were known as the later Mughals, which is given in the second paragraph in your book. Later Mughals. Now, if the question states who were the later Mughals and how many were there? How many of them were there? The later Mughals were 14 emperors who ruled the Mughal Empire after the death of Aurangzeb Alamgir. I repeat, who were the later Mughals and how many of them were there? The later Mughals were 14 emperors who ruled the Mughal Empire after the death of Aurangzeb Alamgir. Okay, only this many. Now, what you have to know is how many of them were there? 14. Who was the first later Mughal? Together, the 14 of them were known as later Mughals. Now, who was the first later Mughal emperor? If you look at the book, there are 14. See, in this box, the 14 later Mughal, the name of the 14 later Mughal rulers are given. Alright. Now, the first one, if you see, it is Bahadur Shah. So, he was the first later Mughal ruler. So, who was Bahadur Shah? Bahadur Shah was the first later Mughal ruler who ruled the Mughal Empire after the death of Aurangzeb Alamgir. Okay. Then, if you look at the last name, first name and last name is quite similar. Bahadur Shah, the first later Mughal, and if you look at the last one, Bahadur Shah Zafar, who was the last later Mughal ruler. Why was he the last later Mughal ruler? Because after the death of Bahadur Shah Zafar, alright, Bahadur Shah Zafar in the year 1857, see the dates are also given, 1837 to 1857. So Bahadur Shah Zafar, after he died, it was that time when the Britishers had started coming to India. Okay, so the Britishers, as you go through the chapter, we shall be learning about why or how or what led to the decline of the Mughal Empire, what led to the end of the rule of the Mughal Empire or the Mughal Emperor in India. So if you see, Bahadur Shah was the first Mughal Emperor, first later Mughal Emperor, and Bahadur Shah Zafar was the last later Mughal Emperor. Okay, now causes of the decline of the Mughal Emperor or Mughal Empire. There are so many reasons. Why the Mughal Empire declined. Okay, so let us do the first one. Now, wrong policies of Aurangzeb. So, it was not only after the death of Aurangzeb that the Mughal Empire declined, but see, the main reason, if you see, is after the death of Aurangzeb. But if you look closely at the time when Aurangzeb was also ruling, okay, you will be able to realize, if you go through the chapter, you will be able to realize that Aurangzeb had taken so many decisions which backfired, which proved to be wrong decisions, alright, and it had a negative impact on the empire. So what were the wrong policies or what were the wrong decisions which led him to take or which led him to carry out negative activities? Okay, so the first one would be Aurangzeb was a Muslim emperor. Okay, he was a Muslim emperor who did not tolerate or who did not have a positive relationship with other Hindu kingdoms. He kept on fighting because of the reason that he was intolerant towards the Hindus. He kept on fighting with the other Hindu kingdoms. So because of this continuous fighting with each other, see, now when you fight, see, this is the Mughal emperor, and there were so many Hindu kingdoms like the Sikh, the Rajput, just naming a few, Bengal, and let's say Awadh or Awadh. Okay, 4. Now the same kingdom is fighting with them. When you fight, you lose you lose a lot of property, and you also lose many soldiers because they die. Then again, with the remaining amenities what you have, you are fighting with another kingdom. Here also, you are, even if you win the war, you still lose many people who are dying, you still lose cavalry, the property value also goes down. Now again, what happens is, again you are fighting. You keep on fighting with the Hindu kingdoms. So when you keep on fighting with the Hindu kingdoms, what happens is, it also, you keep on fighting with the other kingdoms, it is going to have a negative impact on the Mughal empire as a whole, because you are constantly fighting, you are never at peace. Okay, you keep on fighting, you are fighting with this kingdom, then again you fight with another kingdom. So all this is continuously fighting with other Hindu kingdoms is having a negative impact on the Mughal empire and the people living in this empire. Okay, now, so because of all these reasons, the Hindus living in the Mughal empire did not like their leader, as well as the Hindus belonging to other kingdoms did not have a good relationship with the Mughal emperor. Okay, now the another reasons is because, Aurangzeb had ruled for 27 years of his rule. He ruled in the Deccan area, which is in South India. Okay, now you have to remember that during the 18th century, transportation, we did not have pakka roads, we did not have trains, aeroplanes, alright. So, and we did not even have automated vehicles, the vehicles that we have now. Alright, the vehicles that we use or drive because of petrol and diesels, these vehicles were unavailable during those times. So, when he was ruling in the Deccan, his capital was in North India, but for 27 years he ruled in South India. So what happened is, when he went down to South India to rule, he was unable to control his empire in the north. So when he was in the north, he was because connectivity, moving from one place to another was not so easy during those days, because either you had to travel on foot or you had to use the help of animals like horseback, elephants. Alright, so traveling from one place to another was not so easy. So when he moved down to South India and he ruled for 27 years, he was unable to check the power of the kings who were in North India. And when he was in North India, he was unable to check the powers of the kings in South India. So what he did is, when he went down, this was also one of the reasons why the Mughal empire declined, because he was unable to concentrate in all the kingdoms at the same time. So when you are looking here, when you are looking after the areas in South India, North India was having a problem, and when he was looking when he was supervising the areas in North India, they were having a problem in South India. So that is why this was also one of the major reasons which led to the decline of the Mughal empire. Now, second point is disunited nobility. Here we come across a term, nobles. Okay, nobles. So who were the nobles? Who were the nobles? The nobles were people, a group of people. So if this is the Mughal emperor, there were certain groups of people who helped the Mughal emperor in looking after the entire empire. Okay, and these nobles, the entire empire was divided into different areas. Okay, the entire empire was divided into different areas, and these nobles looked after these areas. Okay, for example, who helps the prime minister in looking after the entire country? It is the chief minister. Okay, so when you compare, you can say the nobles are the present chief ministers. So the nobles helped the Mughal emperor in ruling the entire empire by dividing the empire into small areas, carrying out different activities, earning revenue, and then giving a share to the king. Okay, so what happened is, later on these nobles started becoming dishonest. The amount of revenue collected, suppose out of 100%, they had to pay the Mughal emperor 70% and then keep 30% for themselves. So what they were doing is, they became dishonest and they started giving less, let's say 30% to the Mughal emperor and keeping for themselves 70%. So here the nobles started, those people who were helping the Mughal emperor to look after the kingdom started becoming dishonest. Okay, so your nobles, when they start becoming dishonest, then his power will also start declining. Why? Because these people are helping him to rule the empire, and if those people are dishonest, automatically the power of the Mughal empire will decline. Okay, a steady decline in the authority of the Mughal emperor caused a struggle for power among the nobles in the Mughal court. The nobles were divided into 4 groups. Now these nobles, if you see, were divided into 4 groups. Okay, now they were from different areas all over the world. They were from different areas. Now when they saw that the power of the Mughal emperor was declining because of various other reasons, they wanted to become the next Mughal emperor. They wanted to become, each of them wanted to become the next Mughal emperor. So that is why they started becoming dishonest. Okay, so you have to learn the names of the 4 groups. So if you go to page number 2, on the top right hand side, the first one is the Hindustanis. Hindustanis, who are the original people from India itself, Hindustan, okay, were the original people. Then they were a group of nobles, these nobles, group of nobles. Then the second one were the Turanis. The third one is the Iranis, and then the fourth one were the Afghans. So these were the 4 different group of nobles who started becoming dishonest, and they started becoming greedy towards the Mughal emperor, because when they saw that the Mughal emperor, the powers of the Mughal emperor was declining, they wanted to be the next Mughal emperor. So this was one of the reasons, disunity and disloyal, because of the disloyal nature of these group of nobles towards the Mughal empire, the powers of the Mughal empire started declining. Okay, so we shall be doing till here today. In the next class, I shall be continuing with the other causes that led to the decline of the Mughal empire. Alright, thank you.